Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video. It's a chilly, snowy day this morning. It was around 0 Fahrenheit. A little bit of snow falling. In our heifer barn, we've been working at cleaning the bedded pack out in this barn. They cleaned the south side out here a couple days ago. Cleaned the manure out and put fresh bedding in there. Sam's working on the north side here today, and when Christian's finished cleaning the alleys in the heifer barn, he'll grab the track skid steer and start cleaning out the sides, cleaning up the sides a little bit. It's pretty steamy, so you can tell that it's cold outside. So he's loading it up into the manure spreader, and we're spreading it on the field right away. You guys will really be able to see him grab anything. I've showed you this before, but basically we just keep adding straw to these pens until it gets up to about the level of the gates. So we're a little bit below the level of the gate, so we can still open and close them easily. And then we'll clean them out probably about 5 times a year. We do this, and we'll either spread it on the field right away, or we'll pile it and spread it at another time. But spreading it on the field is a lot more efficient. And I've told you guys before, I like spreading solid manure in the winter time. It's mainly straw. We just spread it on top, and yeah, then we can get all of it spread before the spring. Then we don't have to worry about it in the spring, about compacting the fields and trying to get all of that solid manure out in a short amount of time. So we typically will spread manure all winter unless there's a lot of snow on the fields. But right now there's the snow that fell earlier, a lot of that settled out already. The fields are still white, but you can see the stalks from chopping corn clearly through the field, and we're having no issues driving through the field with the tractor and the manure spreader. Our nutritionist is here today also. If you guys have been following along for a while, you know that we chopped a bunch of sorghum and barley, and we've been feeding that to our heifers and calves and far off dry cows here for quite a while already. And we started feeding it to our milking cows a little bit, about 5 pounds per cow. Not to the fresh cows, but all the other milking cows are getting some sorghum. And I told our nutritionist I'd like to feed a little bit more, because we've got a pretty big pile, and we also have some bales of sorghum that we committed to. So I'd like to feed it at a little bit higher rate to use up some of that sorghum, but he's not too excited about it. It's I'm not going to call it a poor feed, but it doesn't have a lot of I mean, it's not the same quality as say corn silage or alfalfa baleage would be. It's more of it's a really good feed for heifers and calves and dry cows, far off dry cows, but they can only eat so much. So I'm going to try to convince them today to push that up a little bit, feed a few more pounds. You can't, at 5 pounds, you can't really see it in the ration. But our milk production has maybe dropped a little bit, but our components are up a little bit. So our butter fat's been pretty good, and it's staying there. I could show you guys. So this, I mean, it almost looks like there's corn silage in there. It looks a little bit more like a grass would, but the length is similar to corn silage. I was just waiting for Christian to move some of the manure and sand out of the far off dry cow pen, so I can load it up and take it to the milking cow barns. The manure is not frozen in the barn here yet, but it's getting there. Tonight's supposed to be -10 Fahrenheit, I think. That's what would that be? Like -20, -25 Celsius. So that's getting a little bit chilly, but no wind. You don't hear me say that very often. here comes Sam with our 930 and the manure spreader. Usually this 930 is on our feed wagon, and we'd use our 942 for spreading manure, but our 942 is on the feed wagon at the moment. We've been having some emissions issues with this 930 here. Our dealer's been working on it for probably a month now. I think they've been out here 5 times. It hasn't been giving alarms here the last couple days, so I'm hoping they have it figured out, but I've told you guys this before, emissions issues on these tractors, it seems like anytime we have any kind of issue, it's emissions related. I'm not sure exactly what they all did here this time, but they ended up cleaning out the DPF, sending it off and having it cleaned out, putting it back on, and then they couldn't, the tractor was still giving alarms after that, so then they didn't know what to do, so then they had to go back, get some more information from AGCO, come back, get things reset, and now it seems to be working so far. We're gonna run it on our manure spreader for a while before we put it back on the feed wagon, because it's kind of a pain in the butt unhooking and hooking that back up. But sometimes I wonder if all these emissions regulations, if we look back in 50 years, if it was really a positive for the environment, because the amount of time, money, effort, the trips that they've been making back and forth, all the parts, I mean, all of that should be taken into consideration too, and I don't know if that really ends up being a positive for the environment in the end. We put a lot of hours on those tractors, so we're bound to have issues. Any piece of equipment is going to have issues if you use it, but just the emissions side of it is just so frustrating to me. And you guys have heard me say that multiple times before, but we have to deal with it, so I guess it is what it is. Don't complain about it, just get on with it, I guess. I don't know. A couple videos ago I'd asked you guys for video ideas or things you'd like to see on the farm, and a lot of you responded to that video. A lot of comments, suggestions. I appreciate all those comments. I'd wanted to make a Q&A video, but it didn't work out. My editor was at a continuing education class, and by editor I mean my wife Taryn. So I didn't get a chance to address your suggestions or comments, but definitely a lot of good ones in there, and I'll try to get as many of those filmed or talk about a lot of those ideas that you guys had, and definitely shouldn't be an issue doing that. I did want to ask, or I didn't ask them, but I want to ask now. Obviously we always have similar things going on the farm. Some of you have been watching since the beginning. Not sure how interested you are in seeing some of the same things that I've showed a year ago or half a year ago. You know, eventually there's going to be things popping up that I've shown before, but I try to keep it as new as possible, if that makes sense, or as that you're not seeing the same thing all the time. But obviously on a dairy farm, a lot of different things going on, but at a certain point there's a lot of jobs that are always similar, or always reoccurring. But yeah, I'll try to keep it as interesting and new for you guys as possible. Definitely appreciate all of you watching, all the comments, all the questions. Hopefully you continue to watch the videos. I do enjoy putting the videos out. Sometimes it does become a little bit difficult with everything going on, but it's been a good experience for us, for me and my wife, and I'm definitely going to continue doing it in the future. And appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, I think we'll end this video here, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.